You are listening to Ron Van Dam, America's favorite grumpy old fart.
I'm fed up to here with your crap.
I'm not sure if he's talking to me or all of us. It's probably all of us. This is the Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hey, what do you want? What do you want?
Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
What do you want from me? It's Wednesday, I think. I don't know. Is it? Yeah? No? Oh, it is. You know why? Yesterday was Tuesday. Was it? I don't know. This is a hump day. I don't know why they call it that. I don't know why. I guess a hump is the middle of the week. I'm not sure. I don't know. We're halfway through the week, and then comes the weekend, and then we're going into the week and halfway through the week again. It's an endless cycle. So what are you going to do today that's different than every other day? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to find new and exciting ways of brushing my teeth, because I do this every day a couple of times. And it's just boring. You take the toothpaste, you put it on the brush, you put the brush in your mouth, you go back and forth, and it's just boring. So I decided I'm going to try different things. This time I'm going to take the toothbrush, put my arm behind my head, and see if I can wrap my arm around to the front of my head on the other side and brush my teeth like that. I mean, I'm not a contortionist, but yet it's just something different. I've talked about this before. Dogs and cats apparently have the ability, in a contortionist sense, to lick their own crotches. And it's not that I necessarily want to do that. It's just that if I could, I'd probably never get out of bed in the morning. What would be the point? You've achieved your goal in life. What else is there? I mean, welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. I am Ron Van Dam. We've established that, and nothing else, basically. But, hey, whatever. You made the choice. You clicked on me. You turned on the radio. I don't know how you got here. Got very frustrated yesterday for no reason whatsoever. Did this ever happen to you? And I know the answer is going to be no, but let's just make believe. You know, I had a pencil in my hand. Ooh, Ron, you're so daring. I had a pencil in my hand. I use a pencil when I know that whatever I'm writing down, I'm going to change it. That's when I grab a pen. Who uses a pencil unless you know? This isn't going to last. I'm making a quick note, but it's not going to work. So I took the pencil, and for some reason, the pencil was very flimsy, and the pencil point, the lead, I had a number 2 pencil. I was sick of the number 1 pencil. The number 4 pencil, too large. Number 2, just right. It's like the 3 little pigs. So I'm writing with the pencil, and the point breaks on the pencil, and I got frustrated. Oh man, it was like my entire life was ruined. So what did I do? I grabbed a pen, and whatever I wrote down had to stick. I think I've talked about this when you're making an appointment with somebody and says, we'll contact each other at 10 o'clock. Okay, I'll pencil you in. Oh, you're going to pencil me in. That's the thing with the eraser that'll change. I'm not going to pen you in. If I pen you in, that's definitely going to happen. I definitely have to talk to you. I definitely have to meet you at that time. I'll pen you in, no question about it. But I'll pencil you in. That's not going to happen. That's an appointment that will not occur. Because my eraser is but the other end of a pencil away. Yeah. Someone said to me recently, Ron, it's time to update your phone. And I said, what business of that is yours? Why would you say that to me? Why am I getting old? That's like saying, your eyes are getting droopy. Time for a collagen treatment. Yeah. But I like technology. There's nothing much else to do but embrace your cell phone because it is the centerpiece of our lives. There's nothing else. I mean, family, friends, not so much. But those are centerpieces too, I suppose. But the cell phone, man, that's like, wow, that's the pinnacle of socialization. The cell phone, it does everything. You can order food. You can buy things. You can call people. Really, yes. You can call people. You can video chat with people. You can look things up. It's a computer. You can print from it. You can make things in it. You can play games. Oh my God, the number of things you can do. You can take your temperature with it. It'll tell you when you're hungry. This is all coming out of a tiny little phone. So I thought, well, if I'm going to upgrade everything, not my life, but my cell phone, sure. So I went, I have Verizon as my carrier. They carry me. So I went to the Verizon store, the store of Verizon's, and I walked in and I said, I think it's time for me to get an update. He said, well, what you do, Ron, you go to the menu part and you look for the software, and it says, update my phone. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I think it's time to get a better phone than what I have, because as Americans, having a phone from 2 years ago, that doesn't cut it. That just doesn't cut it. It's not enough. It's not good enough. I want the newest. And the guy was very honest with me. He said, well, we do have this new phone. I'm an Android, by the way. There are two kinds of people in the world. It's not Republican, Democrat. No. It's iPhone or Android. What are you? I'm an Android. Stop tagging people. I don't talk to iPhone users. We don't get along. Their political stature is different. They don't. I think the world is flat. I don't do the iPhone people. So I'm an Android. So I said, yeah. And he said, oh, well, you have the S21 coming out. I said, I don't know what the hell you just said, but good for you. I said, no, Ron, this is it's a slim phone. He said, and the camera on it is incredible. I said, okay, now I'm buying a camera too. It's everything. It's everything. It dispenses cold water. It does everything. Okay, so I said, all right, I'll do that. I said, how much is that? And what can I buy a little bit of it on my bill for 2 years? He says, yeah. He says, you can do that. He says, well, the cost of it, it says actually it's a very good deal. It's $1,400. I said, excuse me, I'm not buying a car. I'm buying a little device that I shove in my pocket. I mean, that I do use frequently, but $1,400? Are you serious? He said, yeah, that's what it is. I said, well, all right, I'll just how much more would my bill be? He said, $60 a month would be what we would add to your bill. And I said, for how long? He said, your entire life. He said, for 2 years. I said, I can't, what? It's a goddamn phone. What are you doing to me? It's a phone. Needless to say, I walked out of the Verizon store with a few choice words and also the realization I'm keeping this phone for a good long time. It works. It's not as modern, as newfangled as the new ones coming out, but at the same time, it's a damn phone / computer / camera / swimming pool. I mean, I don't know anymore. I don't know. Do you ever sit back in your chair, and you have to sit in the chair to do this? Do you ever sit back in the chair and say, I give up. That's it. I've had it. I'm done. Put a fork in me. I'm done. I'm finished. Of course, you can't be finished. You have to get up and you have to keep going. And you say to yourself, oh, things will get better. And the next day, no, they got worse. That's not good. But it's we all have this little defeatist attitude. I had an interview yesterday with a guest, which is what I do, and the guest said, Ron, everybody is a little depressed. Everybody is anxious. Everybody is just kind of not themselves. Nobody. If you see anybody that is just cheerful and chipper and all that kind of stuff, you're not looking at a real person. You're looking at an android. I said, yeah, you're right. And the one thing everybody should understand in this world is that you're not alone. I said, well, yeah, that's obvious because I know there's a lot of people here. So no, that's not what I mean, Ron. I mean, you're not alone in what you're going through, in your emotions and your tension headaches. Oh, my God. Raise your hand if you have a tension headache every once in a while. Look at all the hands go up. I'm making that up. I can't see you. We all are experiencing the same things. We all feel sick. But we're all, as I've said so many times, we're all in the same boat, the Titanic, and that's a problem. Noah's Ark. Did that really happen? I don't think so. First of all, that'd be one big boat. And secondly, by the time you gathered two of every animal, the place would be flooded. So I don't really, I think it's more of a fable. No, Ron, that really happened. Okay, if you say so. You don't think that story got exaggerated somehow and then somebody wrote a children's book about it and that's what it really is? You think that there was that God spoke to Noah on a cell phone? On the Android? And God said, gather two of every animal and put it on build a boat and put it to it. I mean, that's got to be a prank phone call. All right. My guest today is Art Rios. We've talked to Art before. He has a new book that is, it's fascinating. It's called Let's Talk, and that made sense to me. This is not a repeat interview. This is a new interview. We're going to speak to him again. Because he's just so fascinating, and he's a frequent guest on the show. So let's have him back again, and we'll continue to talk about Let's Talk. And the thesis of the book is let's get it off our chest. The more we talk, the more we find out we've got a lot of things in common. It's the opposite with me. The more I talk to people, the more I realize they are incredibly different than me. That's my realization. Talking to people is not a good thing for me. I realize the wrong thing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a phase 6, phase 2, whatever. All right, let's. We're going to speak to Art right after we take a little break because I think every once in a while you forget who I am. I think so. It's me.
You may say to yourself, I listen to and enjoy the Ron Van Dam podcast. What does that say about me as a person? You're probably going to want to sit down for this one. It's going to take a while. And it's not, good. It's the Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
Art Rios is here. Let's talk about making your life exciting, easier, and exceptional We've spoken to him before. He's an engaging guest, and we're happy to have him back again. How you doing today, Art?
I'm doing great, Ron. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. Doing great.
Fantastic. You know, we need some inspiration and some good times here these days, and we need to pick ourselves up, and that's kind of what your book is about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled. I very happy to announce that on Saturday the book became a #1 bestseller on Amazon.
Right.
So for everybody in Boston that has read it and helped, I couldn't be happier. I think it's a matter of just looking inward and deciding to look at the better aspects of what's going on nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, I know the pandemic is a drag for everybody, but we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's just a matter of staying positive and always trying to. Well, I mean, I always believe that everything happens for a reason. I know that, of course, people that have lost loved ones, you know, you can never really fathom why that would happen. But beyond that, everything happens for a reason. And at some point, I think we're gonna realize that this too was something that in the end was positive. Yeah,
well, good things come out of horrific things, and
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, not for everybody, but certainly for the general society. You're a trial lawyer by trade. Are you still a trial lawyer?
I am. Yes,
Oh,
I love to practice. I practice with my dad, and it's a thrill. Really, I just love it immensely. I practice immigration law specifically, and I always say that my specialty is deportation defense, and that there's a lot of people that need to get deported because they're not doing the right thing. But there are many more that are here just following the American dream and trying to do things right and raising families, good, decent, hardworking people.
Yes.
And those I am more than happy to help.
Yeah.
It's something that I truly enjoy doing.
Yes, you're right. We should be exporting people who don't actually understand what's going on in this country.
That's right.
But let's get back to this now. It's difficult to promote excitement and positivity these days, granted, but you know what? It's always been difficult to do that with the typical human being.
Yeah, and especially the human beings that just don't want to let it sink in that things can be good. You know, I'm always baffled by negative people, but I think it's a state of mind. And sometimes it takes a difficult time for people to say, you know, wait a minute, why am I always down in the dumps? And it's so easy to just say, you know, it's in your head, you know, get over it. And because that's really almost a cop-out. But the reality is, I mean, that it is. It all depends on how you decide to look at life. The old, you know, glass is half empty, half full situation. But I've always thought that it's easier to think positive than negative. It's easier to think big than small. And realizing that no matter how tough your situation may be at this very moment, that it will get better. In the book, I talk about, you know, some difficulties that I've faced, but then now, years later, I realized that it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. So it's really just saying, hey, you know, it's tough. If things are bad, if you know, it's tough, but I'm in the fight. You know, 2 thumbs up is better than 2 toes up. As long as we're alive and kicking and we're in the fight, we have to be positive. And there's always people, there's also people out there that's the flip side, that things are going great, that things are fine, they're very happy. Well, they need to be thankful for that too, and not forget to pray and give thanks when things are good, and not just when things are bad.
Yeah, I call that the cheerleader syndrome. Where you're so damn happy you don't even understand what the hell's going on.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a fun and fascinating book. And congratulations. I understand completely why it is so popular. There's no question about that. We all need a little shot of adrenaline here. What this prior year has taught me is when you release me back into life again, where I have the ability to do what things give me enjoyment and what things are important for me to do, I will have appreciated not having it. In other words, you take something away from somebody, that's when you appreciate what you have. And that's pretty much, I think that's the overriding lesson here. I think there's going to be a lot of people when this is over that say, man, I appreciate life more than ever now.
Sure. And absolutely. And I think that, as I mentioned in the book, also, it's about giving yourself permission to enjoy life. You know, sometimes and we don't allow ourselves to enjoy life, thinking that we have to put it off, which I think is ridiculous. You know, I'm not saying that you go crazy or overboard every single day, but that you that you allow yourself some joy and excitement every day. I mean, the day has 24 hours, so we have 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to work, and 8 hours to enjoy life. So you know, we have to make the most of it every single day, but you have to give yourself permission to do that. You know.
That's very, very true. You talk about happy hour in your book. That's one of your chapters, and I guess that could be misinterpreted to some extent.
Yeah, and it's funny that I'm sorry that I laugh, but it's funny that everybody I talk to, that chapter always comes up. Yes. Yeah, always. And you're right, because people will think, oh my God, you know, this guy's a lush, or he's promoting, you know, becoming an alcoholic. And actually, it's furthest from the truth. It is about having a drink or two, you know, and I'm not necessarily every day, but having a drink or two, you know, when you get home from work, or if you work from home, you know, you cleanse the home office, and it's designed to be exactly that. 1 hour. When you sit back, you have one or two drinks, or it doesn't have to be drink. It could be coffee, tea, you know, whatever you like. But it's a matter of throttling back for an hour, letting the world kind of just relax, letting yourself relax. You sit down with your spouse, your loved one, your kids, if they're home, and just chill out for an hour, decompress, and then you're going to have the rest of the day to enjoy, and there's a myriad things you can do. So it's about allowing you, we go back to that, allowing yourself to enjoy life, allowing yourself to throttle back, relax, kind of get a little perspective, and then you go on with your day.
Yeah. Well, that's what happy hour really is. It's putting aside a certain amount of time in order to chill. And with our busy schedules, it doesn't have much to do with alcohol. It could, but it's putting aside time to do that for yourself. It's good. It's a great point. It really is.
The problem is that you know, modern day parlance, happy hour is, you know, going to a bar and for $5 you get 50 beers. That's what it's become today. But I always talk about, you know, the great generation of the 50s that that's not what it was for them. It was about an elegant ritual of coming home and fixing a martini and spending time with the family. It wasn't about getting drunk. It was about, you know, getting a little happy, and that's where the happy hour came from.
It's a release. There's no question about that. And it's a very, very good point. I think one of the greatest interesting things here that I've had to learn being a journalist and talk show host is learning to balance too much news and then on the other side not knowing what's going on. That's a tough balance. I think it was back in 2001 where we started having the cable news networks scrolling news on the bottom of the screen all the time, reporting the news and then analyzing it with a bunch of analysts for the next hour, to the point where we're taking the weight of everybody's problems on our own, and how that probably affects us. It's like too much news. It's too much. It's an overload. The human being cannot handle this type of information. And at the same time, there are people that just dismiss everything, don't listen to the news at all, and say to me all the time, Ron, what's going on in the world? And I say, why are you asking me? Why don't you know?
Yeah, and the problem is that also, unfortunately, the nature of the beast is that the news, and they want it to be more negative because it sells more and it attracts more people. You know, I wish there would be a balance, because we hear about all the bad stuff that happens in the world every day, but you know, there's a lot of good stuff that happens in the world too. You know, we're hearing about, you know, people that are getting infected, for example, you know, with COVID, that pass away from COVID. But there's also a lot of people that are being treated by doctors and nurses and loved ones that are surviving, you know, and that are making it. And beyond the pandemic, there's just good that happens in the world every day. I agree with you. I think that the problem is that it's too much news.
Too much.
And I mean, in the old days, what it was 11 to 11:30. You got your dose, and you knew exactly what was happening in the world, or you read the paper in the morning, and that was it.
Right.
I have a chapter in the book that's called "Logging Off," and I talk exactly about that. That we need to let go of technology, and that includes the media and TV, and setting aside times when you're completely tech free. For example, in the bedroom, all I ever do is read, sleep, and other normal activities, of course. Yeah. But no TV. We don't have it. We don't have. My wife and I don't have a TV in the bedroom. I talk about turning off your cell phone when you get home, so you're not constantly looking at emails or texts, and just logging off and giving yourself a little space. And you, of course, you can watch the news, but don't be stuck to it for hours, because first of all, they're going to be rehashing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And like I say, sadly, it tends to be a negative spin on things. So, yeah, it's just a matter of finding that sweet spot, that happy medium where you're informed, like you say, because it's good to be informed, but it's also that it's not overwhelming.
Well, it's a health concern as well. I've done a lot of interviews recently that have exposed some data that I was shocked that about half of America, adults, actually have anxiety. I mean, physical anxiety, have lightheadedness many days as a remnants of their bodies not being in check. It's not physically going to a doctor. It's your brain saying, I really, in the back of my mind, I don't know where this is all going to go, and I'm nervous and I'm scared, and that's unhealthy.
Well, I'm going to tell you in the second book, in Let's Talk Book 2, I've actually devoted a chapter to mental health, and it's an issue of, we go every year to get a checkup, right? I mean, I like to go twice a year, just in case.
Right.
But how often do we go and see a psychologist or a psychiatrist just for a checkup? We don't, right? Not
at all.
So I think it's such an important thing to do.
Point.
I mean, the brain, I think, is the most important organ in our body, because without it, we're kind of screwed, right? So I believe in going into and the problem is that there's such a stigma with saying, I'm going to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but there's no stigma with going to see a dentist, So I think it's crucial that you go in, I call it, a mental tune-up or a mental checkup, just to make sure everything's okay. And the doctor will say, if you have a little anxiety, the doctor can help you, work it out. Even if medication is necessary, for a little bit, that's fine as well. Because my gosh, if you have high blood pressure and they give you medication, you're going to take it. But if your brain needs it, you don't. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I think people should really need to take better care of their brain, and there's so many ways to do it, because it's, my gosh, without the noggin, we're done.
Yeah. There's some great points. The book is called Let's Talk. And again, the subtitle, it's about making your life exciting, easier, and exceptional. See, I can't even say the last word. That's how anxious I am. All right. All right. It's available everywhere. Amazon apparently is doing a fine job moving it as well. So you probably get a good deal right there. And we look forward to your future writings, because what you're doing, Art, I'm going to compliment you for just a second. What you're doing is actually kind of important, because people are going through things, saying to themselves, I'm the only one going through this. I'm handling it this way, and no one else. Without someone to pull it all together and say, look, we feel the same way you do. We need these things too. We need to hear somebody say, it's okay. Here's how you can solve these issues that you have. So it's pretty cool.
I gotta share really quick something with you that happened. A reader sent me an email the other day, and he said, Art, I really enjoyed the book. I want you to be my guru. And the moment he said that, I said, wait a minute, no. And I wrote back, I said, look, brother, I don't want to be anybody's guru, but I would love to be everybody's friend. Right. Because I think that what we need nowadays is friendship, and you don't need to think that you have a Zen master guiding your life. All the tools you need to be happy, to have an easier life, to have it, make it exceptional, to make it exciting. You have all those tools within you. It's just a matter of realizing that realizing that you're an amazing human being, because we all are individual. We're all exceptional. I mean, there's no doubt. The problem is we don't allow ourselves to believe that. And then giving yourself the freedom to enjoy life and also to reach, your potential. But you don't need a guru to do that. You just need a friend to maybe prod you along and remind you of that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with these books. I want it to be conversation amongst friends.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And it's a good point. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Art.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Is there a website where people can visit?
Sure, it's riostalks.com. That's RIOS talks.com. They can visit anytime. And as you said, the book's available everywhere. And I would love to get an email from everybody. I'm actually really excited because the second book, I've gotten a lot of emails from readers giving me ideas. And some of those ideas have found them themselves in the second book. So you can also send me an email. It's art@rios, RIOS talks.com. I'd love to hear from everybody. And Ron, thank you so much, brother. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, right back at you. We'll talk again soon. Well, that'll do it for me today. You have been wonderful. I don't know how you do it. I couldn't do it. I could not. I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new show. Thank you to Art Rios. Thank you, sir. Always a lively conversation with you. And thank you for listening. I wish I could give you a little gift, but I can't, so I won't. Tomorrow? Cool. Until then, well, I wish you peace.